Hello and welcome everybody to North American Open Division. I am your host slash analyst for the day. My name is Thibaldork. With me is the illustrious Suds and Bubbles. We're working on getting everything into the game. You may have been dealing with some Discord problems this morning, and so have we. But everybody's looking good at this point. We're just making sure everything's all nice and tidy. While we work on that, though, we've got a nice game coming up here. Suds, go ahead and talk to me about these teams.
Yeah, so the first team we're looking at today is called CapyBaras, and they are a team has been together for about a year now, so they've got some solid synergy going on. They've been working together for a long time, and player definitely to look out for on this team is going to be Nin. Runs a lot of DPS for them in some flex comps. They like running a lot of different strategies, a lot of 3 supports with a DPS and a couple of tanks, as well as 2/2/2s and those classic 3/3s we still see a lot of. But this team really seems to have kind of their plans figured out. They like to get these rotations going while they send their DPS players off on his off angle and try to find those high value ultimates. So I look forward to seeing if they're able to capitalize on those here today. But what do we have going on with the team coming up against them there?
So their opponent are called Good Game Gamers, or GGG, or Triple G if you're Guy Fieri or something. They're also a pretty well-established team. They've got a couple newer faces that have been around for like 2 or 3 months or something like that, but a lot of this team has been together for 7 months to a year, which is pretty cool. Another high-ranked team. Both of these teams are 5-1 right now, given that we are in round 7 of Open Division. Plenty of goats play there, but as with CapyBaras, there's some flex potential. It's not all goats all the time here in this sort of skill level, I guess. Spite, who is normally their Zarya like flex player, has a lot of skill on heroes like Genji and Pharah, who are still pretty popular here and there. They've got their maps for sure. And then Detect is, I believe, their founder, and he's got some strong hit scan capabilities. Lots of McCree, lots of Widowmaker, maybe some Ashe. I have no idea, but I'm definitely down to see some Bob action, see if he can actually do something. And in general, this is going to be, I think, a pretty close game. These guys are pretty close together in terms of skill, pretty close together in terms of their win-loss ratios. So I'm pretty excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams sitting 5-1 here in Open Division. So, that's how we do our matchups here, just based on your record. And I'm really excited to see these teams go at each other. It should be a pretty solid game. As you said, we're actually seeing DPS play from both of these teams, and that's something
I was going to ask, like, did you say actual DPS play in the current year, in the current?
I absolutely did, and I agree. It's wild. I'm unaccustomed to it. I break out in hives every time I see DPS now, but I'm trying to build up an immunity to it again because I'm hoping they come back into the 4 of our meta.
Yeah, seeing a good Widowmaker or a Tracer, it does that thing for me. Like the one scene in Ratatouille where he takes the bite of the food and he's instantly transported back to his old house with his broken bike. That's me, but like in 2016. So seeing these heroes has always been a real treat, getting them back in. And seeing people like get used to DPS heroes again has been a really interesting experience. A lot of people have come into the game and reached this level without ever playing a meta that isn't goats. So seeing them suddenly like have to worry about what's this new like dive comp that I've heard about, or like Tracer, I've never had it, but Brigida exists. How is that working? So it's been really interesting to see for sure.
Absolutely. All of our, I imagine a lot of these teams that have come about during this GOATS meta, like, I don't know why you would even bother trying to find DPS players to some extent. Like, you just need 3 tank players, 3 support players, maybe kind of flex there for the off comp. But yeah, I think if this meta does start to fall away, we're going to see some very interesting shakeups with a lot of teams.
How do you think this new patch that's going out on PTR will affect that? The changes to Reaper, the adjustments to armor, and anything like that. Do you think Open Division's really going to shake up?
I mean, it's all going to rely on when that patch lands. If that lands before Open Division playoffs, I think we're going to see some very interesting things. It's hard to speculate about it because, you know, all we've seen so far is PTR play. But yeah, those increases in Reaper's lifesteal as well as the decrease in effectiveness of armor against some of those higher damage projectiles is going to have a major impact on the game. And I mean, you have to imagine that it's going to very much affect the viability of tanks.
I agree. Well, before we start getting any deeper down the rabbit hole of future metas and things of that nature, we're going to throw to a quick break just to give us some time to make sure the captains are ready, we're getting in game, and we can give you guys that lovely Overwatch experience you're all here to see. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week of North American Overwatch Open Division. My name is Elite. I will be one of your casters today. I'm also joined with my good friend Levon, my co-caster. Levon, how are you doing today?
I mean, it's been a good day. We're going to have a couple of good games here today. Open Division back in action here. I mean, I was kind of getting a little bit antsy, not getting to be able to watch some Overwatch. So the fact that we're back in already, it's going to be a good time, I think, Elite. It should be noted that it's going to be starting off on Nepal here as our first map of the day. Control, as always, opens up the match.
Control will be first, and we're getting later on in Open Division here, so these games are getting very, very important. Someone that could drop a game that hits you a lot, hits you pretty hard getting later on in Open Division. So something else that I want to talk about with these teams is both of these teams have been together for longer than 6 months, 7 months for Good Game Gamers, and then a year for the CapyBaras. So what I want to ask you, Lafon, is how much does being together that long affect you? How much of an advantage do teams have? How good is that to be together for that long?
I mean, there's two sides of this, right? One is that familiarity breeds contempt, and that is when you get together for too long, you start, finding gaps in your own gameplay. You don't really make those clean engages. But the other side is when you're familiar with your team, you know exactly what they're going to accomplish and when. So there's a bit of a double-edged sword here, especially with teams here through Open Division. And the question is, these teams, as you said, have been together for quite a while. Are we going to get the teams that are polished and well-oriented, or are we going to get players that just make, small mistakes because they haven't bothered to clean them up? That being said, we are starting off in Village here, Elite, and some interesting compositions already from both sides.
Yeah, the analyst talked about this, about how the side of CapyBaras, they're in the blue. They like to run 3 support. Well, in this one they're running 3 tanks, but they like to run the 1 DPS and having Nin on it. But as this one gets underway, we can see the CapyBaras will be down on man immediately. So having the man advantage over to the Good Game Gamers. Let's see if they decide to swarm in and use that advantage to themselves. They're going to come in and fight in here on the point. Sheep will get taken out, but the kills are still coming out for the side of Good Guy Gamers. They will try to force the side of CapyBaras off the point. CapyBaras will be forced to back up, knowing that they're down a man. Then will throw up the wall, and they'll try to come in and have more of a contest. But in the end, it will be Good Guy Gamers getting this point for themselves as this one gets underway. So over on the side of Good Game Gamers, they're coming out with the Farah and the McCree, and we see G-Man making a swap over to McCree as well. What do you think about these DPS choices?
I mean, one here is that this is Village, right? And Village, one of the plays you make is you bunker up on the point, you have the Mei block it out with the Mei wall, or you run the tanks. Unfortunately here, they just take too much spam from the Farah. Spite doing an excellent job and provides a lot of damage. They get in with green tanks. He does go down first and has continued to provide a lot of spam pressure from afar, something we don't really see a whole lot of with new Farah. But with that being said, he does have the barrage already, and Sheep engaging very aggressively, trying to get a little bit more disruption in the backline.
Here comes the Rocket Barrage out right now from Spite. He'll take out G-Man, but he'll die as well. So a 5v5 at the moment. Good Guy Gamer still keeping the side of CapyBaras pushed back for the moment. Sheep will power drive in, be able to hit 2 people with that one, knocking up both the Reinhardt and the Diva of Barletta and Nin. And the side of CapyBaras again being pushed back up at 50% already is Good Game Gamers. They're looking to take this round 1 over on the side of CapyBaras. They're going to have Nano Boost, Barletta getting very, very close to that Earth Shatter as well. So as they start to push back in here through the choke, we'll see what the side of CapyBaras can try to push out. Barletta at 82%, but here comes the minefield out from Sheep, and we'll see if Good Game Gamers is going to follow up on that. There's the Nano onto Barletta. He wants to try to focus down the Ana of Danho, but they're caught in the Graviton Surge right now that came out from Nin. All of the side of Good Game Gamers trying to follow up on this. No one's died yet. No one's committed very heavily to this fight, but throughout all of this, the point does get flipped over to CapyBaras despite not a heavy fight breaking out. The side of Good Game Gamers were forced to back off from the Nano and all the other ults that came out from the side of CapyBaras. So they are able to flip the point for themselves despite not really a big fight ever breaking out.
One of the issues there is that ultimates were used by Good Game Gamers, but they just weren't used efficiently. The minefield was kind of thrown out in no man's land. The Graviton Surge was countered pretty heavily, and then Nano Boost found no value whatsoever either. So, you know, a lot of ultimates committed, not much gain from it, and that's going to be the spell disaster. But Barrage over the top here from Spite might be the difference maker.
Here comes the Deadeye coming out from Detect. He's not able to get anyone. A lot of ults coming out from both sides now. Barletta's still having this Earth Shatter. He's going to bring it out right now. Don't think he got anybody with it. He will get a Nano, though, from Green Text to help him out. He throws a Fire Strike up in the air to try to take out Spite. He will get the pin onto Tristan, but he'll eat a Biotic Grenade as well. Big fight, and again, this is another fight where not a lot of people are dying, but finally some kills will start to come out for the side of Good Game Gamers. They're in here on the point trying to take out the 2 big tanks. Zeppelin does get demeched, and now it's Baby Diva in on the point. Baby Diva will get taken out. Now it's just the Reinhardt of Barletta. They'll swarm in and take him out. Good Game Gamers going to flip the point for themselves. Being at 75%, we're approaching last fight material, last fight potential, last fight territory of this first round. CapyBaras, they're going to have 3 ults on their side to work with. We'll see how they're able to come in and try to flip this point back for themselves and keep round 1 going.
That's going to be a pretty awkward there as Nin gets knocked off the map. I think the Concussive Blast comes in. The Pile Driver going to be into the minefield here. And although the High Noon is going to be committed, no one can even contest point. Barletta's caught out in no man's land. And, oh, G-Man finding some value there at the beginning of this fight. They need to turn this one around, though, Elite, as they still haven't found any kills.
Being able to take out the tech, that's pretty much all they have going for them right now. Self-destruct is going to come out from Zeppelin, not able to catch anyone, but that did zone the rest of the side of Good Game Gamers off of the point. But a Graviton Surge followed up by a Rocket Barrage out from Spite is going to pretty much shut down any hopes that CapyBara has of trying to flip this point. Overtime is going to burn down, but the team kill bell signaling that everyone on the side of CapyBaras is dead. Good Game Gamers will take round 1 here on Nepal.
The one thing I'm kind of concerned right now for CapyBaras is that ult economy doesn't seem to be a concept, and they need to start either A, using their ultimates, because there's a couple of times where I just saw, you know, ultimates being left out in the back pocket, if you will. They end the round, they don't get any value from them, and, you know, after you use them, make sure that you use them efficiently. I don't want to see things like Graviton Surge with no damage combo. There's no combination there. There's no synchronization. It's just throwing the ultimates out and hoping for the best, right? Graviton Surge is a powerful ultimate, but only if it's, you know, followed up on. It collects people together, but if you can't kill them, it doesn't really matter what happens. Now on you know, GGG's side, you got to take a little bit more stock about how you're using those ultimates. 4 ultimates in a fight and you only get 2 kills, not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And Sheep has done a pretty good job, though, I think, on this Wrecking Ball of making sure to get in the back line and stay alive as they now set up here on Shrine.
He has definitely been a nuisance that CapyBaras has been forced to deal with. And as we jump in here onto round 2, we see the side of CapyBaras coming out with, oh, again, Green Text is going to get picked out. Danho is going to get hacked by the Sombra of G-Man. That was what I wanted to ask you, was CapyBaras coming out with the Sombra, and it's actually not Nin on a DPS this time. What do you think of the Sombra pick?
I mean, Sombra does shut down Hammond pretty badly if the hack comes through. And it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot as they do get the Resurrect off, though. And this has been a bit of a stalled out fight because both these teams are kind of afraid of engaging fully. And now it's just a bunch of traded out kills that really hasn't found much value. Otherwise, they need to continue to, you know, sort of seal this one off and actually commit on a target. But ultimately, this fight's going to end likely in GGG's favor, as it's really just a really staggered fight.
That is how that first round completely went, was just 2 teams not heavily committing to a fight, and it was just kind of people staggering and very slowly dying. But like you said, it will be GGG who's having this first fight go in their favor. They will take the point for themselves. Both teams able to build up some ults throughout that, so we should have a very interesting second fight of this first round right here. Spite and Detect, both of the DPS over on GGG having their ults. As you can see up on the top right, almost 6 ultimates ready for the side of Good Game Gamers. Almost 5 ready for the side of CapyBaras. G-Man will try to work his way towards that EMP. A hack comes out from G-Man, and Spite will fly back up high up into the air. Does have this rocket barrage ready. Getting focused down by Nin, though. Minefield's going to come out. That's coming out from Barletta. Primal Rage coming out as well from Nin. And they are actually able to flip the point for themselves. Our CapyBaras, again, a point gets flipped without a big, heavy fight breaking out. No one committing super heavily just yet. Finally, that will be a kill coming down and more kills coming out for the side of CapyBaras. It looks like they'll be able to take this point. Or, I'm sorry, they already took it. But it looks like they should be able to take this fight for themselves. They'll push back the side of Good Game Gamers. So, CapyBaras not going down without a fight. They'll push back the side of Good Game Gamers. They'll flip the point for themselves.
One thing I want to see here from CapyBaras is that they need to, if you're going to have Sheep play this aggressively and Spite play this aggressively on their respective heroes, the Pharah and the Wrecking Ball, counter dive them. Let them come in your backline, stun them, hack them, sleep them, whatever the case may be. Take them out, then you go in afterwards. Right now, they're allowing them to engage at will, and it has been pretty free for GGG.
Spite and Detect, both the DPS over on the side of GGG, still sitting on their ultimates, but it's going to be the EMP coming out from G-Man to get this fight underway. Tristan getting res back in, but it doesn't matter because there's still a lot of kills coming out for the side of CapyBaras. Sheep pile driving in to try to keep this fight alive. Nano's going to go over to Zeppelus, and that's going to shut down any initiation that Sheep was trying to do. Zeppelus will then follow up on the rest of the side of Good Game Gamers. They're forced to back. They're forced to back away. Detect had the Discord orb on, was just able to make it across the corner right there to stay alive. Up at 70% now. We're approaching Good Game Gamers' last chance to try to flip this point for themselves. We might be seeing a round 3, Lafon.
It's very possible. Now there's some swaps coming in. Detect does go over to the Brigitte. The Barrage is online, as is the Graviton Surge. So there is a combo available here for GGG to retake this point. They do have the tools necessary. And if this self-destruct isn't massive, it's going to be pretty desperate for CapyBaras.
Well, Rocket Barrage comes out right now from Spite, not able to get anyone. And not only did he not get anyone, he died as well. There's the Graviton Surge that come out from Tristan. Sheep was swinging the hammer, but didn't do a lot of damage at all, thanks to the big Transcendence from Portal, keeping everybody alive. Self-destruct flies out. Oh, I thought it was going to get in there behind the Reinhardt shield. We are in overtime right now, so the side of Good Game Gamers is going to have to win this fight. They're going to have to stay on the point for this entire time as well, but they're still losing the fight. EMP comes out from G-Man. The rest of the side of CapyBaras following up on that, forcing all of them off the point, and CapyBaras will take round 2. We are going to see a round 3, Lafon. Detect, like you said, made the swap over to Brigitte. He still had the Deadeye available. What'd you think of that swap? Was that a good swap?
I mean, Deadeye itself isn't particularly great ultimate, if we're being quite honest. It has it has the possibilities of being its own, but I think this game comes down so far, honestly, to the fact that combinations are not something these teams agree with. You've got the Barrage and you've got the Zarya Graviton. They're used in separate aspects of the map. And you're just able to shut down the Pharah with a very simple ability of just shooting at her. Like, if she is forced to be in a really risky place and she doesn't have any protection, then the Barrage is pretty free. Like, you're going to stop that most of the time. And then the Graviton happens in the backline, and then the Earth Shatter happens and is in the shield. Combos, man. Very, very easy to do. 2 ultimates that synchronize well together. You use them together. Much value.
The side of Good Game Gamers, they're going to come out with the thing that everyone is known to come and love. They're coming out with a 3 tank, 3 support, but it doesn't really matter because CapyBaras is taking this fight for themselves immediately. 4 kills already, 5 as they completely shut down this GOATS composition that Good Game Gamers decided to come out with. Nin did come out on the Pharah, and that seemed to be the answer. He got 2 quick kills on the for the side of CapyBaras. Tristan also jumps off the map to get the reset. So they're coming out with this 3-3, and it completely got shut down as this one got underway.
That fight was Tristan's. Like, Tristan lost his assignment. The D.Va there has to be the one that nullifies. The D.Va is the one there that counters the Pharah, because if you look at it, he nullifies the damage, he can fly at him and can get a lot of close range damage. And then Barletta just comes in and does a ton of damage, has the Earth Shatter all the way. They're not even going to need to use it here. So the way you work against Pharah, right, is if you have these, if you're running the Zen D.Va, is that you Discord orb either the Reinhardt and force him to play really passively while the D.Va takes care of the Pharah by nullifying the damage, or you play out of her LOS so she can't just spam in, and then you're able to actually take the fight once you sort of take away that damage potential. Unfortunately here, what ends up happening, CapyBaras Pharah is able to spam in from the backline. It does a lot of distraction. The Discord Orb isn't on the Reinhardt. He's able to push forward as he wants, and that's how they win that fight. Earthshatter and Rally can be committed, and though the Earthshatter doesn't find much value, they should win this one out anyway.
Yeah, I believe the Earthshatter was blocked by Sheep, but like you said, here comes Sheep's as well, but his was blocked as well, so both Earthshatters going to be nullified by the other Reinhardt. Transcendence comes out from Danho as the entire side of Good Game Gamers starts to swarm back into the fight. They're bringing out their own rally as well. Sheep will charge back in. He gets a pin, got pinned as well. Finally, the first kill will come out, and it's out for the side of Good Game Gamers. Charging in again is Sheep. He'll lock up the kill, and then a big boop as well from Super Kami. Good Game Gamers flipping the point for themselves right now as they lock up the kill onto Green Text. Huge fight for the side of Good Game Gamers. Complete 6-0 for the side of them. They will take the point. They'll start to get some progress built up on their side here in this third and final round.
The only concern I have here is that they used everything but Earthshatter, and the fact that they only have one ultimate coming to this next fight could be pretty disastrous, as both support ultimates were used. Actually, all three support ultimates were used, and coming into Barletta does have the Earthshatter. The Barrage is also available, so she's gonna have to be the hero here, and it's already not there.
Both of them brought out their shatter. They were both very good, but it's the side of Good Game Gamers picking up the kills yet again. Both those Earth Shatters were quite successful, but in the end, it's Good Game Gamers that comes out on top. They will force back CapyBaras yet again. So CapyBaras being forced back to spawn, only 30% built up for the side of Good Game Gamers. If CapyBaras can win pretty much one fight and flip this point back into their favor, they should be able to take this. Nin is sitting on this Rocket Barrage. Green Text with the Coalescence as well. No ults ready at the moment, but as we can see, 92% spite is very, very close. The side of CapyBaras is going to swing in through this left side. Nin still sitting on this Rocket Barrage. Here comes 2 kills already. The side of CapyBaras will follow up on that. They're currently in a 5v2. Tristan's going to get demeched as well. Tristan, the Baby Diva, on the point. There he goes. They're going to flip this point for themselves, and the side of Good Game Gamers is going to have to quickly regroup and reset to have what could be the very last fight of this round.
They do have the tools to work with, though. They do have both tank ultimates, and they're getting online with their support ultimates. The Rally will be available, as will the Transcendence. Now, Primal Rage, Earth Shatter, and the Rally going to have to be massive here, as they're going to try to engage really quickly.
There is the shatter coming out from the side of Barletta. Sheep still has his. He's only able to catch the Reinhardt of Barletta. Still no deaths in this fight at the moment. The first one will go over to Good Game Gamers. Still a very winnable fight for the side of CapyBaras, but as soon as I say that, the rest of them will get taken out. Good Game Gamers, they will flip the point, and again, it's going back and forth, back and forth. Great third round right here. Great start to the match, and now CapyBaras sent back to the spawn. This probably will be the last fight of this match here on Nepal. They're going to have the sound barrier of Bortle to work with, and that is pretty much it.
Self-destruct is online for Tristan. Other than that, this side also very, very limited in their ultimate economy. It will have a beats shortly, so 2 ultimates to 1, but they're going to make an interesting rotation here, trying to force them away and take this, the far side from Good Game Gamers, and self-destruct can be committed from Tristan very early on.
Self-destruct is able to catch out Bortle. The sound barrier was able to come out, so the rest of the team is going to have that shield, but we'll see if they're able to do this while they are down 5v6. They are definitely committing to this fight very heavily. Earthshatter is going to come out from both of them. Barletta's actually was not able to catch anyone. Tristan is going to get demeched. We'll see if they can lock up that kill onto Tristan. Here comes the nano boost. It went onto the Nin of Zarya. Fighting back in here on the point is both teams. Bortle looking for a good boop, not able to get it, and because he's jumping around on the point, kills are starting to come out for the side of Good Game Gamers, and overtime, we are gonna go into it, but it will burn down. Good Game Gamers will take Nepal as this one gets underway.
And they will say GG at the end of that one. It was a close map. I mean, the first one perhaps not that competitive in terms of the efficiency of the Pharah composition into the sort of May McCree look. Here are the play of the game from Sheep. We're going to get a quick look at this Rhine swing away into the Graviton. It's a ton of damage. Charges all the way through. Great play there. But I think one of the things that comes down to this is that both these teams are kind of struggling with the tank compositions. One of the things that tanks are so strong at, it's control, right? I don't mean control the map type. I mean control in aspect of taking over the map, of holding map percentage. And realistically, neither of these teams are playing goats in a way that we kind of expect goats to be played. You know, they're running their Zarya Diva, but then they're not really comboing anything there. If you're running the Pharah Zarya also, there's just not a lot of that coordination going on. Earth Shatters have just been kind of thrown out whenever. I think one of the things that you have to look if you're these teams is the very simple first thing is Overwatch is, whether you like it or not, based around ultimates. It's a very ultimate heavy game. And if you're not getting value from your ultimates, you're not getting value from your team. So I think both these teams need to look at making sure that they are actually choosing to combo their ultimates and trying to do that. It's very much the statement that the sum of the parts or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, because when you look at them individually, right? You look at Zarya by itself. Okay, you've got a support ultimate. The Zarya Graviton is canceled. But if you do have the Zarya plus Diva self-destruct, all of a sudden then, now you have an actual way of killing around Transcendence. And I think both these teams could take a moment to take a look at that and try and get a little bit more value from it. But Elite, I think also there's some level of interesting gameplay when you think about just how loose and how chaotic these teams are playing.
Yeah, it's like you talked about. We didn't really see. Not only did we not see goats very, very much, but when it was played, it got shut down very, very quickly by the side of CapyBaras. The only time we really saw the legitimate 3-tank, 3-support was from the side of Good Game Gamers there in that third round, and they were able to take that third round. It was a very, 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 very close third round. So we're off to a great start here in this match. We'll be diving onto Dorado right now, and it is still going to be the side of Good Game Gamers in the red. They will be attacking first. So them coming out with the attack, what composition would you like to see here on Dorado for them to keep up this good start that they have?
I think you got to throw away all pre-thought notions of what compositions are usually run on this map, because first point, you often see a lot of tanks these days. And I mean, yes, that's par for the course in just the general patch where you do see goats run a lot of the time. But think back to what Dorado used to be known for, right? You used to run dive and used to run very aggressively. And then, of course, on second point, you'd run the Winston and Diva just to have control of the high ground. I would be surprised if we don't see some sort of tank composition from the defense here, right? With the Ryan, with the Zarya, most likely. And then you play around that. You play around choke, you take control of that middle area, and actually are able to sort of force the enemy team to make awkward decisions. Now, the only thing is, here from Good Game Gamers, they seem to be willing to change it up a little bit. They were running the Wrecking Ball. They were running a little bit of the Winston. I think they're willing to change things away. And I think we might actually see a little bit maybe of the high ground control with those mobile heroes. But for our defense, we are seeing goats, and something that's become a little bit more flavor of the month is that we're seeing goats minus Brigitte, but adding the Ana back in. So that's going to be an interesting look and a very aggressive hold now from CapyBaras.
And a very interesting composition as well from the attacking team, from the side of Good Game Gamers, as they come out with the 3 DPS. They're going to swarm in here in the room. They don't have the Mei with this igloo strategy that we've seen coming out from certain people. But yes, swarming into the room as they do have the 3-3 the goats, so they want to stay very, very close. Like you said, very, very aggressive defense coming out from them. Oh, but it's Nin that's able to get a kill, I believe, shooting the rocket outside of that room. The rest is going to come out from Super Cammy, though. Danho will come back in. A Dragon Blade built up already for Tristan. He'll get 2 kills already. Dragon Blade built up in about 45 seconds for Tristan. A Good Game Gamers off to a huge start here on this attack. They'll get the D-Mech and the final kill on the Zepplis. So, interesting composition here from Good Game Gamers as they come out with the Widow, the Pharah, and the Genji, but it seems to be working for them at the moment.
I almost wonder if Tristan is less familiar with off-tanks than he is with DPS, because if you look at the way he played Diva last map, it was almost like he was uncomfortable choosing how to engage and disengage, and the Genji there looked very fluid, very natural. The Dragon Blade comes in, gets 2 kills, and then cleans up afterwards. So they're building ult economy already, and now this barrage over the top might be able to shut this next fight down immediately.
The nano boost does come out to Barletta. He's trying to focus out Danho. Danho is down very low. Kills are coming out for the side of CapyBaras, though. He forced Danho out of the point. He is asleep over there, but his team was still able to come out on top. He's alive now, which means he'll jump back into the fight. They take out the Winston of Sheep, and they'll chase Danho all the way down and lock up that kill. So despite a rough start to this defending round for the side of CapyBara, they're able to come out on top there. They used the nano from Green Tech's. Barletta dove straight onto the Danho of Ana, forced him out of the fight. Good fight there for the side of CapyBaras. Good Game Gamers will start to come back, and they're going to have 3 ults ready on their side.
That fight comes down to the fact that Spite decided to barrage into a Matrix, and then the Nano Boost was able to get value. And they're going to commit right now, Sheep, with the Nano Boost on the Monkey, try and pressure out the backline.
Yeah, the same exact thing coming out for Good Game Gamer. Sheep wasn't really able to do anything. Everyone avoided him pretty well. He is going to bring out the Primal Rage and jump in, trying to focus on the G-Man of Widow. He will lock up that kill. Now he'll continue the aggression as he tries to push around Zepplis on the Diva, jumping back in. forcing a bunch of space for the side of Good Game Gamers. They will keep this payload moving as they get the DMEC and the kill onto Zeppelin. They will hit the first checkpoint. Good fight for the side of GGG.
Yeah, I mean, you engage with the nano boost, and people just sort of let you walk into your backline, and then he has to primal, but it doesn't really matter because at that point the damage is already done. You're out of position, you're out of coordination, and then now it's just a cleanup. This Widow has better sight lines and has better ability to actually hit shots, and then Tristan, of course, able to dash through. So right now they're playing the composition a little bit better, and CapyBaras is playing very static right now in terms of how they're choosing their fight engages.
Tristan sitting on another Dragon Blade here, so we'll see if he can get one as strong as the first one that he was able to build up. Built it up very, very quickly. Here comes the Dragon Blade out right now. He wants to try to focus down both of the supports, but a good sound barrier from Bortles is going to shut that down. And as that is happening, 2 kills from G-Man. Nin locks up one as well. Huge fight for the side of CapyBaras. 4 players dead for the side of GGG. They'll be forced back. Good fight for the side of CapyBaras as they flip that one. Completely shut down the Dragon Blade that Tristan brought out.
The sound barrier, yeah, does do a good job, but more importantly, the boot from the Lucio afterwards to save his Ana, who's already half HP, very, very well done. And now the defense are going to get a couple of kills. Detect does get taken out. Tristan now switching over to the defense off the Genji, and they want to try and commit this fight to continue with it.
Tristan does get the pick on the Nin, and Detect getting res back in means that the numbers will lie with the side of Good Game Gamers. They will get this payload moving. We see a lot of teams take it to this second point here and stall out. Why is it so hard to hit that second checkpoint here on Dorado?
There's a lot of high ground the defense can actually take, and with the sight lines that G-Man has, it's very aggressive. Now Nin with the nano boost here, and Elite, he's going to try and dash through the team.
Nano Blade coming out. He is able to take out 2 kills. Another big fight for the side of CapyBaras following the big DPS from Nin. He was the player to watch, according to the analyst early on in the game, and they said that they like to run. They said they like to run 3 tank or 3 support. Or, 3 tank, 2 support, or vice versa, and they'll have Nin on the DPS. We haven't seen a lot of that, though. We saw early on back on Nepal where he had the Mei, while they did bring out, it was 3 tanks and 2 supports. But at the moment, they are running with a 2 DPS strategy. Over on the side of Good Game Gamers, they are going to pretty much just full dive as they're going to have Sheep, Detect, and Spite on the Genji, the Tracer, and the Winston, but it's Tristan deciding to make the swap over a Widow.
Okay, I guess they want to get Spite off the Pharah, but they're going to try and engage now. The nano boost is going to be committed here, Elite, and then the Primal Rage right after it to continue winning this one out.
He has the Primal Rage, and he's beating up Green Text in the corner. He'll lock up that kill, trying to lock down Bortle now as well. Here in this tiny little room, wasn't quite able to lock up the kill, but Bortle is down very, very low. He's screaming in the voice that Bortle has won right now. Self-destruct is going to come out, not able to catch anyone, but a very, very good fight for the side of Good Game Gamers. I think they'll be able to hit the side of they'll be able to hit the second checkpoint. So big fight for the side of Good Game Gamers. Spite did build up this Dragon Blade as well.
And now we're going to see if he can emulate Tristan in terms of how they're going to go for it. Infrasight is out now, so G-Man going to try and play very passively as Detect chases him down regardless.
Spite having this Dragon Blade ready. Tristan will bring out the wall hack, so they're going to have knowledge of everyone's position on the side of CapyBaras. No ults ready at the moment on the side of CapyBaras. Green Tech's very, very close to the nano. Bortle about to have the sound barrier as well. So sound barrier should be able to shut down the Dragon Blade that will come out from Spite as long as he can catch them with as long as he can give his entire team the shield. Detect also with the pulse bomb, so if he can get a big pick, that will pretty much shut down a fight that might want to come out for the side of CapyBaras. Here it comes right now, not able to get anyone with it though. He'll recall back into safety. Nin is chasing him down. Detect will blink back into his team. Spite is bringing out this Dragon Blade right now. He'll take out G-Man with the Swift Strike, trying to focus down the Zarya of Zeppelin. Wasn't able to get anyone with that Dragon Blade, and he'll die in the end. Barletta has a biotic grenade on him. He'll back up and get healed up. 5-5 at the moment. The resurrection is going to come out from Super Kami to bring Spite back in, though. They're going to engage off of the sound barrier from Bortle. Is the side of CapyBaras. A nano is going to come out onto Sheep. So a lot of vaults coming out from both sides. They're committing to this fight. Sheep swinging around this hammer, getting very, very close to this Earth Shatter. He has it. A Dragon Blade is going to come out, though, from Nin as he dives onto the back lines, takes out Super Kami. He wants Danho now as well. He should be able to lock up this kill onto Danho. He will get it. CapyBaras will come out on top in this fight.
That fight was a study in contrast of how to use a Dragon Blade. Spite goes in and then chooses a Dragon Blade and nano boosted Reinhardt and then gets Fire Striked and just dies. Nin does a much better job actually, and a really cool little slick play there. Sees Ana as 1 HP and uses the melee as opposed to try to go for the shuriken. So excellent play there, good recognition of the low HP target. Now they're going to look to go back to spawn and switch up. Nin going to the Pharah. They feel that the Goats comp that they're running into is not played against what they've got, so they're going to bring the Pharah back. Other than that, now they've got the Earth Shatter and the Graviton Surge to work with. CapyBaras not a whole lot. Or sorry,
Here comes the Earth Shatter coming out from Barletta. It's followed up by the Nano Boost. Huge fight for the side of CapyBaras. Just a complete wipe for them. Barletta's keeping up the aggression. They want to shut down the Spite of Zarya. And they will lock up that kill as well. Spite takes himself out with a right click so they can try to regroup and reset because they're only down to 10 seconds left and they have no ults. It's going to be a dry push. We'll see if they can even make it back to the point.
they're going to choose the Wrecking Ball, try to get back in time to tech, and they're going quad tank to get there. Not a lot of healing, though, and this is going to be disastrous in this last fight if they can get a barrage up online.
They are going to make it back, so this is going to be interesting. We'll see if the side of Good Game Gamers can keep their attack alive. Barletta charging across, not able to hit anyone with it, though. Everyone of the side of Good Game Gamers has to make sure they stay on the point right now. Detect will pile drive in to go for the engage. They are able to take out Nin. Portal's going to bring out his Sound Bearer. Earth Shatter comes out from Barletta, but I think it might have got blocked by the side of Sheep. He has his Shatter as well. He'll bring out his. He's only able to hit Zeppelin. The engage coming back out now from the side of Good Game Gamers. Transcendence coming out from Dano to keep all of them alive. They're having a good fight for themselves right now. They might be able to take it to this third and final checkpoint. Portal is still in here. He jumps over, but he will get taken out. Nin coming back in. They'll force him away. They should be able to hit this. I don't think Ball's going to be able to make it back. He won't. Transcendence came out as well from G-Man for the speed boost. So they, despite being in overtime, they're able to take it all the way, are the side of GGG.
I guess Good Game Gamers didn't get the note. I guess they didn't get the note that 2 off supports can keep 4 tanks up. Can't keep 4 tanks up, rather. Or maybe CapyBaras didn't get the notice that you need to focus the tanks down, play 1 target off, and try and get them to force it out. Nin had the right idea, tried to pressure the Zenyatta out early in the fight, but wasn't able to commit the kill. And then Tristan peels for his Zen. That actually ends up being one of the reasons why that fight ends up being that way. When the tanks are able to be healed up by the healers, surprise, they are really easy to keep on point. They're really good at being static, at taking control away from your escort option, the payload in this case. I have to say, I feel like there is a misunderstanding of how these compositions work from these teams, and it's showing in why that round was able to be ended with 3 points. You have to recognize where your win conditions lie and then go after them. And unfortunately, it looks like at one point in time, CapyBaras only do one of those things. They recognize their win condition, but they don't commit. And that's going to be the real issue. Or alternatively, they don't see what their win condition is. They commit anyway, and then they lose the fight because they don't know what they need to do. On GGG's side, though, I mean, yeah, your win condition technically exists. You've created it, but you're making it a lot harder for yourself than it needs to be, right? If you're running those quad tank compositions, but you're running Lucio Zen, you need a little bit more healing than that. You didn't get punished this time around, but you need a little bit more, I think, in this regard. That being said, now they are going to try and run on the defense, the McCree comp with the Ryan Zarya dropping the diva in this case. So Protect McCree is in action. Jesse, have at it. The Peacekeeper is available, and it will be old GT dive for a moment until they scout out, they see what they find, they don't like it, they switch up. G-Man switching roles yet again now on the Zenyatta.
Yeah, Barletta making the swap over to Ryan, and Nin over onto Zarya as well. So they were coming out with the full dive, but in the end, they're going to come out with the old infamous 3-3 that we have come to know and love. But yeah, 3-3 coming out from the attack on CapyBara. The side of GG will drop down under the arch point here to try to set up this defense, but Danho will get taken out by G-Man, and that's going to be the Q2 engage for the side of CapyBaras. Charging away, or attempting to, is Sheep, as Barletta locks up a kill on the Super Kami. Aggression continuing from the side of CapyBaras. They try to focus down this Zarya of Tristan, down very low. He is going to fall here. So huge start for the side of CapyBaras. They're going to hit the first checkpoint already.
Nin gets a magical pin out, doesn't die, so it's all good. It works out in the end. But here's the win condition for this Goats comp that CapyBara is running. If you get a good anti-nade, you're able to take so much room because there's nothing you can do. You can't engage when you're at half HP in purple. That's just not going to work. You're going to have to retreat, and with that, CapyBaras is able to take full control of that first point. They're able to clean up, so excellent play with the Ononade. And now, although Barletta does feed a little bit and does get a little overexcited, gets the kill, they do have 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to complete point 2.
I think he saw that his shatter was around 85-90% there, and he was trying really hard to build it up there. I know That's like the tunnel, and you really want to build up that shatter, but he will fall in the end. But he does have it now, as well as a nano boost from Tex, Nin, and G-Man with their ults as well. A lot of ults ready for both sides. We're actually about to see 6 ults ready for both sides, so this could be fireworks here in this fight. Here comes the Graviton Surge coming out from both sides. Transcendence is going to come out from the side of GGG to keep everybody alive. Spite's going to lock up the first 2 kills, and now in a 6v4, the side of Good Game Gamers will force back the side of CapyBaras. Zeppelin gets pinned against the wall. He's going to get D-mech. Big aggression coming out for the side of Good Game Gamers, forced all the way back to the spawn room as they push them all the way in. Good fight for the side of them. Not a lot burned from the side of CapyBaras. They did use the Graviton Surge and the Transcendence, but still 4 ults ready for them.
Yeah, 2 to 4. That's the ultimate count that goes both ways, right? 2 for CapyBaras, Graviton Surge and Transcendence, as you mentioned. 4 for the defense. Now they're gonna have to try and eke out the Earthshatter. Sheep did use it last fight. Does have it all again.
Self-destruct comes out, and as well as the Earthshatter coming out from Sheep. No one getting big value from either of those. Here comes the Shatter as well from Barletta, but it's completely blocked from the side of Sheep. Graviton Surge does get denied, and now the Nano Boost will come in from Barletta. He'll charge in and start to swing this hammer around. He'll get boot back, though, by Super Kami. That'll negate this Nano Rhine for a moment. They will lock up a kill onto the Tech, so having the numbers advantage, they're still able to push back the side of Good Game Gamers. They'll continue to keep this payload moving. Good Game Gamers forced to back up to this choke point right here at the second point, knowing that they're down a man. Both ults used from the side of CapyBaras, only able to lock up 1 kill, but that was really all they needed. They're halfway towards the second point.
Now, I'm curious to see. Offense has Transcendence and nearly a Grav. Can they turn this into a point victory? It's going to be tough, especially because Sheep does have the Earthshatter online already.
Sheep has Shatter, but he's not going to be able to use it. He gets taken now. Barletta's able to lock up that one. Spite down as well. So 2 people gone for the side of Good Game Gamers. Again, CapyBaras is going to come out on top. They will definitely hit this second checkpoint off of this. And once they do, they're going to have a ton of time to be able to attempt to take it all the way and tie it up by hitting this third and final point.
The one very problematic thing here for, oh boy, Barletta. Okay. Certainly an exciting choice there. They're caught in the same, but the point is captured. Sheep does get the final blow. The interesting thing about that last fight is neither team used an ultimate. So it was just a good old-fashioned dry fight that CapyBaras just straight up won. They walked at it. Sheep wasn't able to stay alive. And so therefore, the Earthshot not online. They actually just win it out. And now this next fight, although the self-destruct was committed to re-mech here by Zeppelin, that is only going to be 1 used. And now they have 5 more to work with. Couple of swaps coming out from the defense, and other than that, other than those 2 fresh swaps, they do have 4 of their own. So this next fight, good old-fashioned GOAT's ult dump is what we are expecting to see.
And a lot of ults ready for both sides right now, so another potential fireworks fight. We'll see which one of them wants to commit first. Here comes the Nano onto Barletta. We'll see if he decides to engage off of that. Shatter's going to come out from Sheep. Barletta bring his out as well, but the Graviton Surge will come out for the side of Good Game Gamers. Getting pinned against the wall is Barletta, but the Sound Bearer keeping him alive through that pin. CapyBaras still trying to push back the side of Good Game Gamers. 1 death for each side right now. A lot of ults were used, but it's another one of these things where we see a lot of people committing, but no one seems to die in the end. Still some ults ready for both sides. They're both support ultimates, though, so nothing super aggressive. They do have the Sound Bearer. Barletta is going to get taken out, though, and being down a man, no, that's the cue for Good Game Gamers to push all the way in and push the side of CapyBaras back. Taking out G-Man. They want Green Text now as well. He's not going to have anywhere to go. Sheep will lock up 3 kills throughout that fight. Big fight for the side of CapyBaras.
They recognize their win condition to GGG, and then they press it. That is what I've been looking for this entire match so far, and finally GG acknowledge. CapyBaras, they use 4 ultimates, but they use them in staggered fashion. They just don't get value, and that is going to be why they're unable to win that fight out. It's good ultimates. They even deny the Graviton Surge, I believe. But it just, you know, if you're not going to push those advantages, not a whole lot of able corner shatter from Sheep, though.
Yeah, they didn't check their corners. It was a big shatter, but Transcendence is going to come out, and it's going to keep a lot of the side of CapyBaras alive. Not only is it keeping them alive, but they have a couple picks on their side. They're caught in a Graviton Surge right now, and Sheep is swinging this huge hammer, but they're staying alive through all of it. They'll take out Sheep now as well. CapyBaras will start to swarm back in onto the payload. They're down to 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Good Game Gamers, these last 2 players here are going to have to set up a good defense. There goes the Tech. G-Man is going to have to try to force his way back in. Here comes Spike. Graviton Surge is going to keep them back. Danhill eats a biotic grenade, and they will take it all the way with time remaining in their time bank. A huge shatter came out from Sheep. They didn't check their corners, did the side of CapyBaras, but they survived through all of it and won the fight. They're taking all the way. 1 minute for the side of Good Game Gamers, 2:30 for the side of CapyBaras. We're going to see Good Game Gamers on attack first.
I mean, Dorado is actually pretty hard to capture. So finishing it up with a minute 31 to go is actually pretty impressive, especially considering how much they got stalled out on second, right? And how much they got stalled out on third. So the fact they finished not only with time bank remaining, but a significant time bank over their opponents. CapyBaras is doing their best here to turn this one around. Again, though, like I feel like my criticism of these teams have come down to the same thing. It's that you have an opportunity, you don't recognize your enemy's opportunity, you press your advantage, and then the enemy is able to the corner shredder is brilliant. It's great. It hits 4, I think, and they're able to win that fight out until Barletta realizes he's not stunned, and that Sheep's turned around, and then he shatters him, and then they commit the graviton surge after 3 kills, and okay, now what do we do? We've got no resources coming back in. They still have resources, and they're able to win the fight out. So I have to say, it's great to understand the beginning of the fight. Now make sure you get the middle and end of the fight going too, because it does make for some very explosive and back and forth gameplay though, and both these teams have been providing that in spades.
Side of CapyBaras coming out with this strategy that we heard the analysts talk about, where they come out with 3 supports, 2 tanks, and the Nin on the DPS. And he's coming out on May, which is kind of this igloo strategy that people have come to talk about, where they can sit here and put up the wall and they can contest the payload. And here in this very, very short time bank, that is a good strategy, but not when Good Game Gamers completely swarms in, is able to pick up 4 kills already. They are coming out with the 3 tank, 3 support goats composition, are Good Game Gamers. So knowing that they only have 60 seconds, do you think that this is the composition they need?
No, and they're going to switch it off. They recognize that it didn't work. They recognize why it didn't work, and they switch off to the next composition and then going over the fire. The reason why that comp works usually is that you contest the cart, and then you force the enemy team to make a decision. The thing is, though, GGG actually just commit. They go all in, and now, instead of the wall being something that helps you, it's against you. The wall blocks off their retreat, and they're able to win the fight out. And now, GGG have ult advantage coming to this last overtime fight.
Nin down very, very low as the diva Tristan chased him all the way up and out of the fight, but it is overtime, so the side of Good Game Gamers is going to have to stay on this payload for the entire time. They're up over halfway towards this first checkpoint. Here comes the Graviton Surge out from Zepplis. They'll try to follow up on that with the side of CapyBaras. Transcendence coming out. Everyone burning everything, knowing that they have to win here. Caught in a Graviton Surge right now are the side of CapyBaras. Shatter's going to come out, able to catch 2 people. Sound Bear's going to come out from Portal to follow up on that. Self-destruct, not able to catch anyone. Rally coming out from the G-Man to keep CapyBaras alive with all that armor. CapyBaras, looks like they should be able to come out on top in this fight. They have a small numbers advantage, but the spawn advantage lies with the side of Good Game Gamers. They'll swarm back in onto the point, and now the numbers advantage will lie with them. It's just G-Man, Bortle, and Zepplis in here. Here goes Zepplis, and now it's just the 2 supports. Now it's Bortle. They'll chase Bortle off the point. Good Game Gamers coming out on top. I think they'll hit this first checkpoint off of this. Their attack is not done yet.
It is not, and that fight actually went on long enough that this next fight likely goes to GGG simply because they're going to have more resources coming in. I actually thought Spite was higher energy than he actually is. He's only about 10% right now, so this might be a little bit awkward because he does not have the grab yet and still needs to build it up. 2%, but he won't be able to do any damage in the grab, so they need to find a combo here, and Self-Destruct is not online. Meanwhile, if Zeppelins can build energy, they do have the barrage to combo with it.
Sheep with a shatter, Nin with the rocket barrage. About to be a lot of ults ready on the side of CapyBaras, as we already see 3 on the side. Here comes the Earth Shatter coming out from Sheep. It was a pretty good one. They're going to follow up on that. Are the side of Good Game Gamers. They want to focus down G-Man of the Brigida of G-Man, and they will get that kill. So all that they used there was the Earth Shatter from Sheep. It was a good one, and they knew to follow up on it. It's like you talked about, win condition, and they know when they need to win, and they follow up on it very well.
Okay, so fight 1 ended. Only 1 ability used. Sheep does use the Earth Shatter, or 1 ultimate use. Sheep does use the Earth Shatter. Next fight now. The defense has built up 5 ultimates. Green Tex doesn't die here. This Grav, they're going for the flank.
Here comes the Graviton Surge out from Spite. Or Self-Destruct as well. Only 1 kill right now for the side of Good Game Gamers, getting charged against the wall as Sheep. Self-Destruct comes out, Earth Shatter, I'm sorry, coming out from Barletta, and he's able to lock up that kill. Still fighting in here on the point is both teams. G-Man trying to force them back on the Brigida. Super Kami jumping around on the Lucio to keep the contest alive. 4v4 right now on the point. Tristan sitting up above on the Diva. Here comes the sound barrier out from Bortle. Nin has this rocket barrage ready. We'll see if he can use this, and Super Kami will use his sound barrier as well. Nin's going to want to wait for that to drop down. Here comes the Earth Shatter out from Sheep. I don't think he caught anyone with it. Here comes the rocket barrage out from Nin. He's only able to catch one, and he'll die for it as well. Dropping back in onto the point is Tristan as they keep up the contest. Earth Shatter not able to catch anyone there that came out from Barletta. I don't know why I mixed up those ults, but right now the numbers lying with the side of Good Game Gamers. Like I said, exactly like last time, the spawn advantage is going to lie with CapyBaras, so they're coming back in, trying to force a recontest. Graviton Surge, dueling Graviton Surges there, but kills coming out for the side of Good Game Gamers. And switching over to ball now is Barletta. It is non-stop chaos in here on the point, Leifano.
Spite has to be particularly happy that his team won that fight, because he went down to about 4 HP at one point, and just brawling away on that cart does end up winning the fight out. The Graviton Surge there, of course, the Diva Bomb there to clean up a little bit more damage. So that fight was about 2 seconds away from falling back in the other team's favor, and now with point 3 captured, there's Nano Boost versus Sound Barrier.
Here does come the Nano Boost. It came out onto Barletta, and they're trying to follow up on that on the side of CapyBaras. But the Transcendence coming out from Danho is going to keep all of them alive. Bortle bringing out his Sound Barrier, answered as well by the Super Kami on the side of Good Game Gamers. There's a Shatter coming out from Sheep. It was a huge one on the side of Good Game Gamers. Going to follow up on that. They should be able to lock up some kills now, as they already lock up 2. Nin getting a little too close on the fair. Now it's just the Lucio of Bortle. He won't stay alive for very long. It was a lot of commitment from both sides, but in the end, it was a big Earth Shatter from Sheep that allowed Good Game Gamers to get that fight on their side.
Now doors are starting to open, and again, Spite has the Graviton Surge and Detect has the Mines. Nin with the Barrage needs to find some way to avoid Tristan's Matrix, because that has shut them down frequently now, and this next fight, this Graviton should be able to help them clean this map out.
Nin, like you talked about, does have this Rocket Barrage. Spite with the Graviton Surge as well. Here comes the Rocket Barrage out from Nin. He tried to take out Super Kami with it. That was his main target, but he wasn't able to get anyone. But a big Earth Shatter coming out from the side of Barletta, but they weren't really able to follow up on it. And 2 kills now for the side of Good Gamers. Tristan taking out the big tank of Barletta with his self-destruct. We'll see how many more times I call Earth Shatter self-destruct in this game, but they're taking this one, and I think they're going to hit this 3rd and final checkpoint. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to make it back. No one's going to make it back. 3 points, despite only having 60 seconds on their attack. Huge round for the side of Good Game Gamers.
Yeah. These players, their hearts are beating in their chest. They're breathing hard. It was a really, really aggressive offense from GGG. If you're CapyBaras, though, ult economy, man, it's gonna kill you every time. And if you don't have good ult economy, and I have to say, Nin has not gotten value from this barrage yet. He's had, I think, maybe a grand total of 3 kills with it in this map, across like 4 barrages. So he's not really gotten a lot of value out of it. I would like to see a little bit of a change up here. Yes, maybe you're not comfortable playing other heroes, but at some point you have to face the facts that you're just not getting, you're not getting any value. And it's going to be a tough one to be able to bring back. Now, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. That's just over half the amount of time you get to start the map, and they have to complete all 3 points. It's going to be tough here for CapyBaras.
So, knowing that they're going to have to complete all 3 points, what composition do you think is best suited for them, knowing that they had to take it all the way?
Goats. Run tanks, run goats. Let's go. And we saw why Goats is so strong in those late fights. The sustain is so massive that you're able to just keep winning fights over the fact that you're able to build healing, you're able to build ultimates, and both these teams seem to recognize that. A very aggressive spawn hold here from GGG, and trading out kills.
Yeah, already, and the Goats was exactly what you said, and that's what both of them are going to come out with. Barletta swinging his hammer around, locks up the kill onto the tech. Now he wants to try to focus down the Sheep of Reinhardt. Down very, very low is Sheep. Sheep's going to be forced to charge up. Barletta is going to charge him. Charging in very, very low, though. But at the moment, the kills do lie with the side of CapyBaras. They will get this payload moving, and they are not done with the aggression yet, as they keep going past the choke point here, right under this archway. Good start for them on the side of CapyBaras on their attack. You said to run Ghost, and that's exactly what they're going to run. Not only are they running it, but the side of Good Game Gamers running it on their defense as well. Barletta at 84% already towards this Earthshatter. Sheep at 83%. So both the Reinhardt's off to a good start. Barletta does have his now. We'll see if he can find a big one and try to get a fight underway for the side of CapyBaras, but no, it's going to get completely blocked by Sheep. Sheep is down low, though, on the Reinhardt, and kills will start to come out as Bordeaux locks up two. CapyBaras already coming out on top in this fight. 3 players dead on the side of Good Game Gamers. Shinikami, or I'm sorry, Super Kami. I have a friend who goes by the game name of Shinikami, and that was the first thing that came to mind there. But Super Kami was trying to bounce around there on the payload to keep that one alive. But first point for the side of CapyBaras. They're off to a good start on their attack.
They do. They are. And now they're finally starting to build their ult economy here. Only Earthshatter available for defensive GGG as they set up now. And with Barletta playing very aggressively, he's going to try and build this Earthshatter very quickly. And if Nin can get this Zarya online... oh, good block there from Barletta.
Nano Boost did come out onto Barletta, and he's going to use that as his chance to engage, blocking that Rocket Barrage. He pins Tristan, but isn't able to hit him into the wall. He has a Shatter now, though. Doesn't want to use it while Danho has this Transcendence. Barletta down very low. They want to get this kill, and they will. And with this kill, the side of Good Game Gamers will swarm back in. This is the win conditions that you've talked about. They know when to capitalize. Self-destruct will come out from Tristan and take out Bortle. 30 seconds left. The side of CapyBaras has got to regroup and reset. They only have one fight left in them if they want to take this one to the second point.
There was a very good call there from the CapyBaras, though. They saw they were losing the fight early. They left. Now they have 15 seconds remaining to hit to cart. They will have an opportunity to contest. A really good job making sure that they engage without any resources.
Barletta having this Earthshatter ready. He'll charge in. He takes out the tech. He had the pin. A big Earthshatter as well. He catches 4 people. Barletta swings around this hammer. Huge fight right now for the side of CapyBaras. They're definitely going to come out on top. They'll get this payload moving, but the side of Good Game Gamers are going to have enough time to regroup and reset and come back for another fight before they hit this next checkpoint.
The fact that Tristan died so late, though, could be pretty disastrous in terms of their contest timing. And if they have to be careful about how they engage. Again, though, remember, they have to capture all 3 points to CapyBaras. It's not just capture the second one and they're good. They have to finish the map. And now, this last fight going to be commencing. Both teams, the Shadow have to be here from Sheep.
And he does hit the Zarya of Nin, but I believe that might have been all he got. Transcendence comes out from G-Man. That's keeping the entire side of CapyBaras alive. Sheep swinging around this hammer, not able to get anyone with it right now. GG being forced back at the moment, and a Nano is going to come onto Barletta. Transcendence is going to come out, though, and that's going to pretty much counter the Nano that came out. Self-destruct's going to take out 2. This is the fight for Good Game Gamers, and they will come out on top as overtime burns down. They will take the win here on Dorado. They will go up 2-0 in the series.
And I saw a breath of fresh air at the very end there. Both teams recognizing how to play goats. They play it very aggressively. We're going to see a play of the game here from Genji. Not one of the heroes that was played at the very last as he dashes through, gets those kills with the Dragon. Oh my god, this is risky. That is such a risky play from the Genji. But it works out, and they take themselves the victory. Tristan coming on top in that last play there, Elite. It's been an exciting game so far. You cannot deny this.
Oh, no. Absolutely. Very, very exciting. And Good Game Gamers are up 2-0 right now. We're going to go into halftime. We're going to throw it to the desk here in just a second to get their thoughts on it. But yes, Good Game Gamers up 2-0 and 2 very, very close first matches. So they could 3-0 this, and people would never know how close this match really was if they just see a 3-0. But we are going to throw it back to the desk right now. They're going to give us their thoughts on this match so far. So back on the desk, Thibble, Dork, and Suds and Bubbles. What'd you guys think of those first 2 matches?
Thanks very much, guys. As for what I think of these first 2 matches, holy crap, these have been amazing. Nepal in general was really, really close. As mentioned, I think even if this is a 3-0, nobody will know how close this series really was. But there's no guarantee that this will be a 3-0 either. Suds, let's talk about map 1. Let's talk about Nepal. We saw a lot there. What were some of your major takeaways?
So, I mean, one of the big things was we saw that strategy from GGG there on Village, where they were just kind of surrounding the point, using the Pharah from one side, the McCree from the other, able to just kind of split the attention of the tanks of CapyBara and just kind of play that slow and end up capping the point several times just by doing that. It was really, really effective, and we've seen that in all levels of play be really effective.
Definitely. I just want to call out the cool comp that we saw from Triple G on Sanctum. the Ryan Winston Moira Farah. It was kind of like a death ball, but like Farah was like an overhead drone just providing damage. Ultimately, it worked. They had to do some swaps, but still, I thought that was really interesting. Do you think that's something that we would see more often, or was that just kind of like we're an open division, this is what we see sort of comp?
I mean, I think that's a little bit of a iffy comp. You're running your Winston off tank, which can be effective, but running into things like goats that can be very dangerous because he's going to get stunned out and kind of killed in the backline. But since CapyBara likes to run their goats compositions without a Brigida, you don't have that danger there. So you can be effective using that Winston to kind of dive in and separate the backline from the front line of the enemy team.
Right, yeah. And that kind of carried over into Dorado as well for our next map. The first attack had a lot of disruption potential from GGG. They were running like a wrecking ball, an Ana, a Mercy, and everything like that. And there was just a lot of potential for, let's move into the backline, let's scare the Widowmaker away from wherever she's at, disrupt her, and then just everybody else sit on the cart and do our thing. I will say though that you noticed a certain problem with Danho on the Ana. What was going on there that kind of was hamstringing them in certain parts of that attack?
Sure. So as you said, they were really being very aggressive with their tanks and their DPS. They were attacking the back line and kind of making a lot of space, pushing the enemy team back. But then Danho's left on the cart, and his team is extending beyond his lines of sight. So they get kind of overextended in these positions where they can't receive the healing from the Ana. All they have up there is like the Lucio and I mean, maybe a Brigida, but they get overextended and end up dying because they just don't have the bulk healing coming in from that biotic rifle.
Right. Okay. Who, and this was a long map full of a lot of big plays. Who would you say was your MVP just from Dorado? Who really stuck out to you out of all these ridiculous?
Yeah, I mean, probably I really liked what Sheep was doing there on the Reinhardt GGG. He was playing really well against his counterpart, Barletta. He was blocking shatters, he was landing shatters, and I mean, that's a huge part of those Reinhardt games. And then we saw Barletta going for a lot of charges and being sometimes very heavily punished for them. And a lot of that is due to Sheep either turning around and swinging on him or holding up the shield so that the healing can't come in from Barletta's backline.
And I gotta say, I'll give Barletta a shout out. He had his struggling moments there, but man, he really spoke to the inner Reinhardt solo queue main in me, who just loves to press shift more than anything in the world. We've all been that Reinhardt before. Don't lie, you've been that guy. And Barletta is channeling that big hammer energy right now and really trying to make it work for his team. We're moving on to map 3 here. Hanamura coming up next. Do you think we're looking at a longer set here, or is this about to finish up? What do you think, Sets?
I mean, both of these maps so far have been on a razor's edge. All it takes is one, I mean, just lucky bounce if you're dealing with traditional sports, just that bounce going your direction, and either one of those maps is won by CapyBaras. So if that bounce goes their way this time, I mean, they get one extra teamfight win, it's very likely that we go to an extended series here.
Got it. Well, let's see how that goes. I know you guys are all hungry for a little more Overwatch. You're going to get at least one more map. We're moving on Hanamura here. For now, though, that'll be it for us on the desk until this game is over. We're going to throw it back to the casters. Take it away.
Thank you guys so much for your guys' breakdown over there on the desk. So, LaFon, following up on what they said, diving in, it's going to be Hanamura here for our 2 CP match, 2 control points. Being down 2-0 are CapyBaras. What do you think they need to do? What needs to change on their side for them to fight their way back into this? Because we're going to have to see 3 wins in a row from them.
Yep. Do you want anime villain LaFon, or do you want the color analyst LaFon? Because I can give you both. I can give you either.
Anime. I mean, who do you think is watching this stream? Anime.
Oh boy, anime villain. This is gonna sound real harsh, but play better. It was what it comes down to. I mean, it sounds mean, and I don't mean it like that. I mean, recognize. It's so tough when you ask, okay, how do you win this game? Because realistically, it does come down to play better at the very general. But that's very foreheadish. We're not gonna go into that too much. I have to say, if you're going to run a composition, make sure you understand your win conditions. And right now, if I was to give one piece of advice to CapyBaras to bring this one around, it's pick one target. Don't worry if it's the wrong target. It's much better to have 6 people on one player and end their life than it is to have 6 people doing brilliant plans, but individually. That doesn't work in a team game. And for CapyBaras, I want them to, and they've had moments of this. It's not like this has been something that they can't do, because I saw on Dorado, especially towards the end when they were running that Goats comp in overtime, they were able to focus targets, they were able to bring fights back, they were able to actually make coordinated plays. And I think here, the win condition for them is recognizing one person they can actually engage upon and actually go after that player. So for CapyBaras, that has to be their win condition. For GGG, though, it's not like I'm going to leave them out of this either. They haven't had the cleanest game so far, and these maps have been very, very close. It's not like, they're completely in the free. For them, whatever I said for CapyBaras goes double, because even though they're winning, they're doing it very, very sloppily, very messily, and make sure, again, I cannot stress this enough. There's 2 pieces of advice that I give all the time. First, there's no difference between, the difference between feeding and aggression is how much you get punished. And the second is 6 people doing one plan is much, much better than 6 people doing 6 different plans, regardless of how good those 6 different plans are. So these 2 pieces of advice, if you follow them, you will find yourself a better player pretty much immediately, because it is the core of pretty much anything you'll do, anywhere. Whether that be, physical sports, where I came from back in the day, all the way to esports. It is very much those 2 core tenets to hold it all the way through. But now on defense, we're going to see that Ana McCree with the May coming through. So an interesting composition now from the defense here. And of course, we have actually a sub coming through. Zeppelin will be subbed out. Panda Spankin will be coming in. Interesting name there. I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah, Panda coming in for the side of CapyBaras. That's the Diva player. So Zepplis going to sit out this round. So the side of Good Game Gamers coming out for their attack. They're going to come out with Goats. Nin coming out with the May and the McCree. So we'll see if Nin can get some walls off here. If someone pushes a little too far into his choke point, they get walled off by Nin. The side of Good Game Gamers start to swarm in. They do have this Goats composition getting sped in by Super Conway on the Lucio. Sheep eats a biotic grenade. That's going to force him to back up. Barletta's going to try to follow up on that, seeing how low Sheep was, but he will follow up straight into his death. Numbers already for the side of Good Game Gamers. They're swarming in. They wanted to focus down Nin. Nin is going to freeze on the point, though. They'll switch their focus over onto Panda of Diva. Panda is going to get D-Mech. D-Tech will fall. Kills coming out for both sides right now. Good Game Gamers still having a small advantage. It's 4v3 in here on the point right now in favor of Good Game Gamers, but it is a baby Diva that they have that's giving them the extra advantage, but that might be all they need as they are winning this fight, starting to fill this one up. They'll work their way towards their first pick. It doesn't look like the side of CapyBaras wants to give this up just yet. As charging back in, it's Barletta. He's going to get a nano boost as he comes back in, and he's swinging his hammer, doing a ton of damage. 2 kills already, and Border will lock up a third. They are able to get 1 tick. They're about halfway towards the second one, but CapyBaras not giving up on their defense. They'll hold them off for the time being.
Halfway is actually pretty much exactly right. 52.2%. It's as close as you can get. And a couple of swaps come in. Nin, the nano boost Reinhardt out of nowhere comes in for a shoulder charge kill. That swings it back in. The Pilot Diva somehow got away. Panasonic actually was down to again, 30 HP. Somehow makes it out alive. Self-destruct can be committed here early on, Elite, to no value whatsoever.
Self-destruct not able to catch anyone. G-Man does have this Deadeye ready. He's going to bring it out right now, trying to let all these kills charge up. Let's see if he can get anyone with it. He is able to get a D-Mech on a G-Man, but it's followed up by a good shatter from Sheep. All of Good Game Gamers is going to follow up on that, and that will be the fight that they need. They will cap point A. Coming back in to try to contest, though, is Panda. He'll get D-Mech and jump off the map for the easy respawn, but a big shatter from Sheep is exactly what they needed to win that fight and get point A capped rather. They will try to snowball this onto the second point now, and they have a lot of vaults to work with as they start to as they attempt to swarm their way in onto point B.
The one good piece is that they actually did stall out alive, and Bort will try to find that boop into the pit. The Graviton Surge is going to be committed actually with the self-destruct over the top Elite. Sound barrier in time, although the self-destruct missed anyway, but it is going to help them win this fight out, likely on point. A tick given up already, however.
It was a huge Graviton Surge that came out from Spite. They weren't really able to follow up on it, but they did get that 1 tick. That was solely off of the Graviton Surge. Nano came out onto the Reinhardt of Barletta. They weren't able to capitalize on it very much, but Nin is able to lock up 2 kills, and that is going to shut down the side. That's going to shut down the attack of the side of Good Game Gamers. They will have to regroup and reset, but they're going to have 5 minutes. That's a lot of time to work with to capture this point, and they do already have 1 tick.
They do have that 1/3. The only problem is, yes, 5 minutes is a lot of time, but with Assault being the way it is, you can often stagger out 3+ minutes just trying to build ultimates so you can actually get that proper engage here. I would not be surprised if one of two things happens. Somehow they manage to get a massive Earth Shatter, and that helps them win the fight out, or them staggering, trying to get 6 ultimates before they complete the point. Now going through the low ground rotation through the Mega Health Pack room, and they're trying to take this low ground. The Earth Shatter completely blocked there from Barletta.
Completely blocked by Sheep. A big biotic grenade came out, though, from Green Tex. Transcendence is going to come out from Danho to try to capitalize, or to try to negate the big biotic grenade that came out. Going to keep all of them healed up. Barletta down very low. He had a Discord orb on and tried to charge in. Numbers lying with the side of Good Game Gamers. Shatter came out, able to catch Nin. They'll take Nin out with that. Now they should be able to start to fill this up following the kill onto the Baby Diva. Another tick is going to come through. Making the swap over the ball is Barletta coming in and pile driving in as they try to come in for a contest. Stagger going to start to come out now from the side of CapyBaras. They got to make sure they stay on the point for this, though. Barletta gets taken out. Bortle and G-Man are in here trying to keep this contest alive. Panda Spakin coming in as well. Graviton Surge is going to come out from Spite, as well as Self-Destruct coming out from both Divas. Tristan are going to kill with his, and that's the only kill that's going to come out. Still in here contesting at the moment is Panda and Bortle. Barletta comes in yet again on the Wrecking Ball. Pile driving back in. A good staggering contest coming out right now, but in the end, it will be the third and final tick as they step off the payload, or the point for just a little too long there. 3 ticks, all 3 ticks, both points capped for the side of Good Game Gamers with 3 minutes, 32 seconds left in their time bank. CapyBaras is going to be on their attack now. What composition? I'm sure your answer is going to be goats, but I'll throw it to you to let you do your job. What do you want to see from the side of CapyBaras on their attack?
I want to highlight that under the most technical definition, that is not a letter number. The most technical definition, because they were already losing that fight, kind of, sorta. But man, was it as ever close you're gonna get without a proper one. So I want to put that one out there. That was as close as you're gonna get, because you stepped on the point a second too long. That's
strong
real close.
Contest there at the end. Strong defense.
Certainly. In terms of what's gonna be the best here, I was gonna say goats, but that's a little too predictable. So we're gonna change it up, and we're gonna say goats instead. I think it's probably the best way of putting it. It's goats, but with the space between the G and the oats. So, in my mind, that counts as being different enough, I think.
It is.
And I will hear no arguments on this matter.
Well, CapyBaras, they are going to come out on their attack, and they do have the goats selected at the moment. They did come out with the 2 DPS. G-Man and Nin came out on the May and the McCree. And they were off to a decent start on their defense, but in the end, once they lost that point A, it was a pretty good snowball for Good Game Gamers as they swarmed into point B. They did lose that first fight, but following that, they pretty much walked right in and capped that one. And we did see, like I said, or like you said, rather, a very, very good defense and a very good stall from them. And now we're going to have to see how they do on their attack. Coming around to the right side, they have Barletta still on the Reinhardt. It's pretty much what he's played all this entire series. Going to get a Discord orb from Dano. They're going to follow up on the speed boost from Bortle as they start to come in. The Zarya shield onto Sheep, though. The big barrier, keeping all of them alive. Already swarming in onto the point, though. But it's 2 kills already for the side of Good Game Gamers. CapyBaras is going to get forced back. A quick fight there that they lost a couple people immediately, and they were forced to back up very quickly.
One of the sneaky people who was actually really influential in that fight was, in fact, Dano. He comes in, the Discord orb, it goes, the prioritization is actually really well done there. It hits the Reinhardt. They're forced to use bubble early. Ooh, great shatter coming from the corner there as Sheep decides to speak over me and take the fight with a brilliant corner shatter yet again.
Yeah, it was a very, very big shatter. He will get taken out. But, yeah, very, very big shatter from him. Good Game Gamers will hold them off yet again following that big shatter. Didn't check their corners. Big shatter from Sheep.
I mean, corners really are the enemy if you think about it, right? They hide things. They keep things. They're just, you sit in the corner when you're in trouble. Never can trust those corners, I have to say. That being said, Barletta, they're going to try to take this opportunity now that Sheep's not available to just walk to the point.
And they will walk onto the point.
Oh,
and Green Tex is going to get taken out. So, Danho with that big pick. The rally as well is going to come out from the tech. Good Game Gamers is going to swarm back in onto the point to follow up on that. So a big, big fight again for the side of Good Game Gamers. They do get 1 tick, so something to cheer about for the side of CapyBaras, but they had the numbers advantage like you talked about. They tried to go in and use that advantage while Sheep was dead, but a big pick from Danho opened the fight there for Good Game Gamers.
Oh, yeah, the right click comes in. The Zenyatta will find that final blow. And now they're putting themselves in a good position to actually succeed in this map. G-Man does have the Graviton shortly, does have it in fact right now, and they do have a combo available. No support ultimates that can block it. Zero Shadow is going to be committed from Sheep.
but it was completely blocked by Barletta. Barletta is very close to his shatter now as well as the Graviton Surge came out, but good transcendence from Danho is going to keep all of them alive. Barletta has the shatter. It's blocked again. That's all we've seen is big block shatters. Great defenses coming out from the Reinhardts when they know the enemy team has the shatter, and that is going to be Good Game Gamers again coming out on top, down to less than 2 minutes on CapyBaras attack. They have got to get together here. They do have one tick, but huge defense coming from Good Game Gamers. 90 seconds left for CapyBaras.
Now here is where you start to have a bit of a struggle. There are no real impact ultimates now for CapyBaras. They do have GG is starting to build theirs up, as Sheep does have that Earthshatter yet again, and they're gonna have to try and find a way to get value away from GGG, and it starts with that booping the Reinhardt back when he's trying to shatter.
Another shatter denied by the defending team yet again, or the defending team of the shatters, right? I should say, because that was the attacking team that shut down the shatter. But nevertheless, they're swarming in here onto the point. Our CapyBaras. Graviton Surge comes out from G-Man. They're trying to follow up on that while they were all stuck. It was a big Graviton Surge card. A lot of the team. Transcendence will come out from Danho now to keep the side of Good Game Gamers alive as everyone fights in here on the point. It's going to be answered by Green Tech's own Transcendence. They are winning this fight right now. Our CapyBaras. Graviton Surge is going to come out from Spite. It's kind of a lost fight, but he is going to bring it out anyway. Tristan will hop back into his mech to hold on to the fence for as long as he can. Making the swap over the ball is Detect. He'll just kind of roll in onto the plate and then roll off the map. But point A is going to be capped. They're going to have a chance to cap point B and try to force another round. They're going to have 4 minutes and 21 seconds, so a lot of time for them to come in. They're going to have 2 ults if they want to try to snowball this right now. I say that because Barletta is very close, but Nin is very close as well. So essentially 3 ults for them to try to snowball this. This is going to be the difference maker here. The self-destruct can be committed. Oh, Urshatter blocked. Urshatter hit it, and Sheep is going to find a kill off that. That's actually going to stall them out massively, and they're just going to die there. Actually, they preempted what I was going to say, but the point I was trying to make is that if CapyBaras could have somehow blocked that Earthshatter, they actually had the advantage because they were going to be able to build to their tank ultimates first and their support ultimates first too. But Sheep just came in and said, yeah, that's okay. We're going to skip past that analysis. We're going to shatter the entire team. We're going to kill them all and start to build our own economy back up. So they have self-destruct, they have Transcendence available now, and they're starting to put themselves in a position where they can actually put a pretty decent defense. On top of that, the time bank they have is already better than what CapyBaras could hope to achieve even if they did full cap. So Rally going to be committed as they take the high ground rotation onto the point available. Now they're going to have to try and find some combo here with the Shatter or the Graviton. Rally does come out from them. There's the Earth Shatter. He's only able to catch Sheep with it, but that's better than nothing. And he had the Discord, which means that Barletta will lock up the kill with that charge. Transcendence comes out from Green Text, keeping all of CapyBaras alive. Oh, and a Fire Strike is going to take out 2 people there for Barletta. Huge fight right now for CapyBaras. Flying up and above is the Diva of Tristan. He'll get D-Mech. It's just baby Diva now. Super Kami still in here trying to defend this as well as he can on the Lucio. This is the fight that CapyBaras has to win here if they want to cap this second point. Sound Barrier is going to come out from Border to keep all of them alive. No one on the point right now. Tristan making the swap over to Sombra to jump in on the point, but you cannot contest anymore while you're invisible. He'll come out and get a hack onto Barletta, but that's not going to keep him alive for very long. There's the third and final tick. Both points capped for CapyBaras. So they were off to a slow start on their attack. They were able to cap point A with about 30 seconds left, but that was exactly what they needed. They cap point B as well, and this game is not over yet.
It very much isn't, and though the time back isn't particularly great, 232 to that's a minute difference, you know, so it's respectable. The one thing that was what their opportunity, basically what should have happened on their first fight, happened on their second fight. They're able to come in, make the proper rotation away, take the high ground control, force GGG away from the position that they want to take, which is overlooking the point, force them to come down in a very awkward position, then force them to use support ultimates. So again, when it comes down to it, they have resources. How do you nullify their resources? By forcing them to use them in bad places. And then the whole thing crumbles apart when Sheep, instead of making a smart pin, tries to go for a very flashy cross-map look and ends up, even though he gets one pick off, it's not enough as they're able to clean him up afterwards and takes himself out of the fight, so he's not finding much value for that. They're able to win it back in. The Earthshatter is committed, the Graviton Surge is committed, they wipe the team, and then Assault being what it is, they're able to clean the remainder of it up. And now they go on to attack round number 2 as they try to find their foothold back into this match. Again, a loss here, and they've taken the 0-3. So CapyBaras, their work is cut out for them. But it could begin here as they set up again on the Ghost composition for their attack.
Exactly 1 minute less in their time bank for the side of CapyBaras, so they will attack first. No swaps coming out, no heavy swaps at least. We're still going to see 3 tank, 3 support coming out from both sides. Barletta will come in and continue to swing the hammer around. Sheep is down less than half health, trying to capitalize on this. CapyBaras, he has a Discord orb on him. He's getting healed back up, though, by all the healing coming out from this Goats composition, but a pick will come out for the side of CapyBaras. Panda Spankin is going to get D-Mech to pay for the kill that they did lock up onto Danho. Spy is actually going to take himself out. CapyBaras coming out on top on this fight. They might be able to cap point A off of this. Tristan and Super Kami trying to defend this as well as they can. 1 tick built up for the side of CapyBaras. Super Kami's still in here trying to stall as long as he can. He'll get taken out, though, as Bortle locks up that kill. So they're going to cap point A very quickly. They'll get 30 seconds added to their time bank. No ults used for their side. They're going to have Rally as well as Transcendence. We'll see if they can snowball in. Huge start right now for CapyBaras.
The only problem is that even though that they do have those impact ultimates, they probably will not get a snowball because of the fact that Rally is available for detect as well. So that should buy enough time for Spite to build the Graviton Surge up and Tristan to build the self-destruct. And so they have some tools here to actually win this one out. Danho being besieged on the high ground, get taken out by Bortle by himself.
Rally coming out from both Brigidas on each side, and that, like you talked about, that is Danho getting taken out by Bortle, so numbers advantage with the side of CapyBaras. They're trying to use this to their advantage as they're swarming in here on the point, trying to work their way towards this first tick. Self-destruct is going to fly up and above from Tristan, as well as Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Good Game Gamers as well. It'll be answered by the one as well coming out from G-Man. Earthshatter doesn't catch anyone from either Reinhardt, I don't think. They're not able to make any progress on this first tick at the moment. I don't know why I want to call every ultimate self-destruct. Sound Barrier comes out from Bortle. Bortle will be forced to run away. They will hold off this first attack from CapyBaras. Interesting fight there. A lot of time came off the clock, and nobody really had a lot of picks in that fight. That fight went on for a while before either team had the upper hand, but they're down to less than 60 seconds now on their attack, and it's going to be complete dry push from them. No ults available for either side.
Spite is going to have to be the hero of this point, as he has the higher energy for the Zarya in the Zarya duel, and on top of that, he's closer to a Graviton Surge. So if he can build it, this could be the win here. Tristan, though, so very, very low early on.
So there is the D-Mech already from Panda Spankin onto Tristan, like you just talked about, being very, very low. Panda will get D-Mech as well, so it's a Baby Diva for each side. CapyBaras swinging around on the high ground and going to rotate, dropping onto the point. This is what we've seen them do pretty much every time for their attack on the second point. Sheep gets knocked down. Graviton Surge coming out, and it's a real big one from the side of Good Game Gamers, and that is pretty much all they need. 3 kills already, and Earthshatter as well from Sheep, just for good measure. So big fight for the side of Good Game Gamers. That's going to do it for the attack. We're going to see last second contests here just because from the side of CapyBaras, they'll both get taken out though, Will, Green Text, and Panda. So they're able to cap 1 point, which may be all they need if they can full hold point A, or if they can hold point B. We could see a draw here, but they're able to cap point A, and if they can set up a good defense, we could see the first win here for CapyBaras.
There is certainly a win condition established. All is not lost, and it is going to have to be off the back of good defense. The one thing is that you mentioned this on their attack run, is that they had an opportunity to take a fight. They did so. They found that they were losing people early on. At that point in time, you have to perhaps consider resetting early on. They unfortunately use all their ultimates, and they come back to the next fight with no value. And on top of that, Spite is able to keep all his energy. And so then when you're just going to win that one out pretty much every time. The high energy Zarya is the better Zarya. And when you're able to build Graviton first, you're able to win the fight out. So I think here it comes down to, of course, management of your resources. And in this case, it was not done particularly well by CapyBaras. But they do have a redemption point here as a defense with 332 remaining. It is... hey, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's entirely possible for a good defense to come through and to block out point A.
Yeah, definitely winnable, as everyone likes to scream in voice comms. Definitely winnable for the side of CapyBaras if they can hold this 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And well, if the side of Good Game Gamers can cap as fast as CapyBaras did, then it's going to be tough for them. They do have 1 extra minute than CapyBaras did. No big swaps coming out from either side. I wouldn't expect them to. We know how strong this 3-3 composition is, and both teams are going to stick with it. Coming out on their attack, Good Game Gamers, Sheep sticking on the Reinhardt. Pretty much what we've seen. Well, we've seen a lot of these guys play the same heroes for pretty much this entire series. And why would they switch? Very strong, very comfort picks for them. Sheep is on the Reinhardt, taking a bunch of damage while he has this Discord orb on him, trying to return some to Barletta. Sheep down very low. Good Gamers will have to back up off of the choke point so that way they can get healed back up and be ready for another push in. Sheep sitting at about 41% towards this Earth Shatter. Barletta at 66% towards this. Coming back in for another fight now. Are the side of Good Game Gamers. They're going to come in and go into the room. Everyone wants to stay together so they can get all the big healing that is offered from Goats. They'll go around, go up the stairs and over to the side, going for a rotation. Are the side of Good Game Gamers. They'll go up and start to fire down, knowing that they have the high ground. Not on the point just yet, though. Sheep will drop down, and everyone else is going to follow him. Having up the shield, he'll drop it and start to swing around this hammer on the point. The first kill is going to come out from Barletta, followed by a D-Mech. So both teams starting to lose players. 5-5 right now. Both Transcendence is coming out from both of the Zenyatas. Still fighting in here on the point are both teams. Tristan trying to focus down G-Man. Here comes the Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Good Game Gamers. That's going to be exactly what they need. They will take out everyone on the side of CapyBaras. They will cap point A, and they're going to have 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they only have to get one tick. And if they can get that one tick, they will go 3-0, and they will get the win here in this series. We'll have to see how CapyBaras can hold on this defense.
Shout out to Tristan in that last fight for proper Matrix usages. He basically sits on G-Man the entire fight. He knows G-Man has grab, and then the win condition is not established for CapyBaras, and they just lose that fight out. Tristan, excellent defense Matrix on the D.Va.
Shatter ready for both of these Reinhardts. We'll see who can get a big one. The Self-Destruct is coming out. Not able to catch anyone with it, though, was Tristan. Earth Shatter's going to come out. It does catch a few people, but it's going to be answered as well by Sheep. Sound Barrier coming out for both sides. So following the Earth Shatter, they're kept alive by the Sound Barriers coming out from the Lucios of Super Kami and Bordeaux. One kill right now for Nin onto the enemy Brigitte of Detect. So having the numbers advantage, CapyBaras will continue this aggression. Transcendence is going to come out from Danho. Nin will fall as well, though, so that's going to even this one back up. But remember, spawn advantage lying with the side of the defense as they spawn right there. But still, Good Game Gamers is going to come back in. They have no ults ready for them. Barletta has already built up another self-destruct, and Sheep is going to get... God, how many times am I going to call Earth Shatter self-destruct? Barletta has built up another Earth Shatter, but Sheep does get taken out by the self-destruct, the actual name of that ability. He was taken out by the self-destruct of Panda, and Good Game Gamers is going to get held off. 60 seconds left, maybe only one more fight in them. So they're going to have Graviton Surge from Spite. Sheep can probably build up an Earth Shatter in a fight, but a lot of ults ready for the side of CapyBaras. Less than 60 seconds. They are less than 60 seconds away from getting their first win in the series.
The Earth Shatter here is going to have to be, if they can build it, and they can build the self-destruct, then GGG will actually have the opportunity to take this victory away. But G-Man is so close to that Graviton, and they do have the support ultimates online. That's going to be the win condition here, is if they can nullify the Graviton from Spite. This could be the difference maker here, as, again, they're taking so much damage, though.
Both teams bringing out Graviton Surges, but a big self-destruct from Tristan was able to take out two. They're halfway towards getting this win right now, and a lot of kills for them. This should be it for Good Game Gamers. They will get everyone off the point. Green Tex is coming in at the last second. He will fall, and that will do it. For the one and only tick that Good Game Gamers needed, they will take it. They will take the win in this series, 3-0.
How appropriate is it that the last play of the match, the one that wins them out the point, is in fact the same one that I've been calling for all game long? They come in with self-destruct, they come in with a Graviton Surge, and it is, of course, the one that combos out the victory. Here we see some environmental kills from Kami to give himself the play of the game, as GGG ends up with the victory at 3-0 as they finish up Hanamura 17-28 games. So a long run there for both these teams as they continue their run through. Good Game Gamers doing an excellent job there in their victory. As you know, if you're CapyBaras on the other hand, there's a lot to work on, but you have to take the bright moments. They definitely weren't they were competitive here in this matchup. The first two maps could have gone either way for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and the third one as well. So, like I talked about right before that third match, if you just looked at the score of this and you saw 3-0, you would not think of these games were as close as they really were. Three very, very close matches, but in the end, it is Good Game Gamers taking the win 3-0. They will continue their strong push in open division. We're going to throw it back to the desk here in just a second. I want to ask you one question, LaFon, and I ask pretty much every color caster this. Do you have an MVP for this match?
Do I have an MVP? You know what? I think it changed from map to map, but I'm gonna have to give it to Tristan at the very end there, because one of the things we don't talk about a lot, especially amongst divas, is how Matrix works. And I think the fact that he was able to nullify Azaria's graviton, forcing the Azaria to not even use the graviton because of how terrified he was in the Matrix, very, very well done. And then across the board, these players had a lot of good gameplay. So, it's not like it's only like just one was a highlight for me, but I have to say that one small play from Tristan was a big difference maker.
Tristan did completely shut down the rocket barrage from Nin with the defensive matrix that you're talking about. But that will do it for me and LaFon. Great games, 3 great games. I've said this a lot, but you would never know how close these games were if you just looked at the 3-0 score. But great games. That is going to do it. I have been Elite. I have been joined by LaFon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to throw it back for the desk. They're going to give another quick breakdown of this match. Thibbledork and Suds and Bubbles, what did you guys think?
Thanks very much, Elite. And man, I gotta say, I think that game was great. As has been mentioned a couple times now, looking at this and seeing a 3-0 would never tell you how good this game was. It was super entertaining, always came down to the wire. Suds, what were some of your big moments here on Hanamura? We didn't write too much down because we were so engrossed in the game itself. So what's some stuff that you liked especially?
Absolutely. So, I mean, just from the beginning, that first defense, we saw CapyBaras come out with the Mei defense, and Mei went down, then swapped over to that Doomfist and got back to help them hold that first push, which, burned a good bit of time off of the clock for their opponents. But then I think the biggest part for me was them finally landing that grav bomb combo. And it was such a perfect bomb. It landed right on top of the Reinhardt, blew up on both sides of his shield, and got the 2 kills that they needed to kind of start to take the control of that second point.
Got it. Okay. I gotta say, Tristan definitely showed up. I'm gonna agree with Elite and LaFon here, because not only was he consistently managing his Matrix well against Nin's Pharah or anything else he wanted to have to do, that bomb to seal things out at the end was definitely a spicy meatball. I loved it. Let's have a little MVP discussion of our own. Who do you think out of this 3-map series would be your strongest player on either team?
So, again, I really do lean towards Sheep's kind of control of the fights. He was really good about controlling what space his team had possession of, as well as determining the pace of those fights, but with a lot of help from Super Kami, who you're actually talking about as we were watching that last map.
Yeah, I'd say Super Kami was definitely my choice for MVP. On Dorado, his Mercy management and being able to be frontline, backline, back and forth all the time was really good. And you could tell that the calls he was making, sorry, words are hard. The calls he was making were really smart. And then his entire team would follow up on that and make sure they were doing it right, which, goes to show the level of synergy they have, having played together for months and months and months. So I think really that is what gave them the edge over CapyBaras, because mechanically, CapyBaras were pulling out some crazy plays and lots of flexes and things of that nature. But on Hanamura, which was more of a like goat's mirror, like skill versus skill thing, shot calling is super important. So the strength of Sheep and the strength of Super Kami really gave them the edge in that map, as close as it was still.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, GOATS is all about those micro plays, management of cooldowns, and capitalizing on things like the Lucio speed amp. And that's exactly what we saw in that last attack from GGG, is them getting through those chokes just so clustered together, which, like, if your team kind of strings out, it's a lot easier for somebody to get picked off. But they did such a good job of moving as that death ball with that speed amp, and just making really good rotations throughout that last map.
Got it. Okay. So good game gamers, Triple G, whatever you want to call them, move on to 6-1 here, where CapyBaras fall to 5-2. Do you think we'll be seeing more of Triple G as we move closer to Open Division playoffs? Is this a play?
I mean, I think they have a lot of potential. The issue here with Open Division is that you have so many teams that getting into the playoffs without a perfect record, it doesn't happen very often. So, I mean, they've already lost the one game. That may be what hurts them here. But as we saw, they're playing really good Overwatch. They've got solid coordination. They finally started making those ult combos work there on the last map. And I think if they continue on this trajectory, they definitely have a shot at playoffs here, if not in future seasons.
I definitely agree. Only time will tell, but they've certainly got a chance if they keep to their guns. Um, I think that's about all we've got to talk about here. It was a great game, as mentioned, way closer than this 3-0 scoreline might tell you. Major shout out to the teams for putting on a great show for us. Major shout out to the production crew here at Broadcast.gg, our casters, Elite and LaFon, my fellow analyst, Suds and Bubbles, and everybody watching at home. So thanks very much for joining us. We are not going to have a game 2. We were unable to lock anything down for today. So that'll be it for Open Division here on this Saturday. I don't think it's Sunday anywhere in the world that's watching just yet. So thanks very much for joining us again. I hope you enjoyed the games and the crew. And we will see you guys when we see you guys.